Red 7, how to set up and play. First thing you'll do is you'll set out the starting rule card. You'll shuffle the deck completely. You'll give each player 7 cards randomly dealt from the deck as their starting hand, and then each player will get 1 random card dealt in front of them. To see who goes first, we have to determine who's currently winning the game. So based on the random card dealt to each player, we'll see which player has the highest card. We can see 2 players have a 6. So when the numbers are tied, we always consult the color chart, and we can see that yellow outranks blue. So this player is currently winning, so we'd go to the left of this player. Play will always proceed clockwise, so this player will start the round. Here are the options a player has on their turn. First, they can play a card from their hand to their pallet, as long as they're now currently the winner of the game. Or they can take a card from their hand and play it to overwrite the current rule, again, as long as now they're the current winning player. Third, they could do both. They would first play a card to their pallet, then they could play a card to change the rule, again, as long as they're winning. Or the fourth option is if they can't do any of the above, they have to do nothing, pass, and they lose, and they're eliminated from the game. So let's look at all of those options for this player. So we know that the current rule is to have the highest card. So this player could simply take a card from their hand, play it to their pallet. Now they have the highest card. Because even though this player also has a 6, you'll remember we consult the color chart, and orange is higher than yellow. So now they are currently winning the game. So they've satisfied the requirement. Now we could go to the next player. Instead, if they didn't want to do that, they could always change the rule. So maybe they take a card from their hand, and it's the most cards below 4. So they simply play a card there, and now they have the most cards below 4. So now again, they're winning the game. That would satisfy the requirement, and we would move on. The third option they have, you'll remember, is to do both. So we undid that. So let's say this player wants to first play a card to their pallet. You can always rearrange your pallet, and then they can play a card to change the rule. So let's say they play this up here, most cards in a row. So now they have the most cards in a row. So again, they're winning, they satisfy, so they survive, and it goes on to the next player. If a player is out of cards when it gets to their turn, they would automatically lose, or if none of the cards they have allow them to either place a card to their pallet or change the rule or do both in a way that would make them the current winner, then they're forced to pass and lose the game. Play will simply continue clockwise until only one player remains in the game, and at the end of that, they are the winner. When trying to figure out who's winning, you always ask the question, who has the most cards that fit the current rule? If there's a tie, you look at who has the highest number based on those cards. And if it's still a tie, that's when you consult the color chart. This color chart will also show all the different rule changers in the game. So we've seen the red rule, highest card wins. If there's a tie, you consult the color chart. Orange is the most of one number wins. Yellow, the most of one color. Green, the most even cards. Blue, the most different colors. Indigo, the most cards in a row. And then violet, the most cards below 4. If you don't have any cards that satisfy the rule, for example, if you don't have any cards below 4, it's impossible for you to be winning. And that should be everything you need to set up and play the basic game of Red 7.